Hey there folks, today I'd like to take a casual peek into the S.H.Figuarts Hurricane Red action figure set from Bandai. This set was first available in September of 2013 and sold for the average price of about 3,900 yen, which converts to roughly $38 US. And I got this set in 2013, shortly after the release, when I purchased it from eBay and only paid $29 total for the set, which included the shipping from overseas. This set was also rebranded for distribution in the US to accommodate the Power Ranger equivalent of this Sentai, and it was rebranded as Red Wind Ranger. Taking a closer peek at Hurricane Red here, you can see the Sentai hero here from the Super Sentai series Ninpu Sentai Hurrikenja, and it's a very cool figure, one figure I've been looking forward to getting. And you could see the Ranger here with all of the accessories, very cool, and includes a bonus accessory here to I guess included for the unofficial Sentai Akiba Ranger series. And one thing to note is that these bonus parts are not included with the Red Wind Ranger redistributed set. It's just included for Hurricane Redo. And you can see Hurricane Redo set in this nice packaging with Hurricane Red here in a pose. Nice pose there with the name Hurricane Red there, and the name in Japanese looks like surrounded by a shuriken there. And we have some print here in Japanese. I'm not sure what that says. You do have a branding and copyright dating there. We have the logo for the show, Ninpu Sentai Hurrikenja. And you also have Tamishi Nation's logo, a Bandai logo, and a Toei seal of approval there. Pretty cool. On the side here, you have, in very hard to read print, the name Hurricane Red there. And you have the logo at the top, S.H.Figuarts. And more print here in English, actually. Basically S.H.Figuarts and their motto. And you have a logo here for Hurricane Red, which is very cool. Here we have basically the same thing on this side, except for you have some spillover graphic of Hurricane Red there. And at the top, you have the Figuarts logo, and let me just turn this down a little bit. And you also can see a little bit better the Hurricane Red name and logo on the transparent plastic there. Here we have the bottom of the packaging with some print information there in Japanese. Here we have the back of the packaging, and we could see the S.H.Figuarts and the motto there, and it looks like an expanded motto, an explanation of S.H.Figuarts there. And then you have a picture of Hurricane Red, actually 3 pictures in different poses. Pretty cool. And then you have some print here about it being movable and the nice molding and the option parts included in the set. And here you have an insert photo of the bonus part that comes included with just the Hurricane Red set. And you have here more print information in Japanese there. Now we'll be right back and have Hurricane Red out of the packaging. We have here Hurricane Red out of the packaging, and this figure comes with a decent amount of accessories, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at those first. And we have here a sheet that includes basically a parts listing and how to use these parts with the figure. Pretty neat. And they also have some print information in Japanese there. And the next thing we're going to go ahead and take a look is the backing card here, which is actually pretty neat. Instead of a simple plain silver backing card, we have a backing card with a nice graphic, and that's basically the symbol for Hurricane Red, and it's surrounded by a nice silver graphic of what I think is the curtain, the sliding curtain or sliding wall that's shown in the show when they do special moves. You could see silhouettes of the Hurricanea and doing moves behind a curtain, and that's what looks like this is here. And it's a really nice graphic, and I really like it. And I'm glad they included this instead of just a simple plain backing card. But that's pretty cool. Next thing we're going to go ahead and take a look at are the extra pairs of hands that are included in this set. The hands that are attached to the figure are a pair of closed fists, and the other hands that come included are a pair of open splayed hands here. Pretty cool. And each of the hands has a nice, I guess, padded armor on the back of the hand, which is pretty cool. It's painted with this red glossy paint on here, and it's pretty neat. And there is some sculpt. It's not just simply painted on there. There's a raised area for this padding to the back of the hand there. So that's pretty cool. And another set of hands we have are a pair of I guess straight fingered palmed hands here, like saluting hands or chopping hands, flat palms basically. And you got that. And again, the padding on there on the sculpting. And then you also have a pair of pointed fingers, which was common on the show, the Hurricanea, when posing, doing some certain poses. They use these two pointed fingers on each of the hands here. So that's pretty neat. And then you have a pair of gripping hands, which is probably for the Hayate Sumaru weapon accessory. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, I'm not sure. But you have a pair of gripping hands for that. And then you have three unique hands here. You have one here that's very similar to the gripping hand, but I believe this is for the dry gun. That's going to be shown in a little bit. But there's only one of this, and it's for the left hand, so I'm guessing that's for the dry gun. And then you have another unique hand. This is the right hand for, I believe, the dry gun as well. And this is basically like a trigger finger hand there. So, pretty interesting. And then the last unique hand we have here is a left hand, and it's basically a cupped hand with some curved fingers, what looks like a cupped hand there. So, and this is seems to be pretty unique. I don't think I've seen this particular sculpt on a Figuarts figure before. I could be wrong, but it looks unique to me, at least of the Figuarts that I've owned. And then you got that padding, that very nice gloss red paint and sculpt. So, pretty cool. Next thing we're going to go ahead and take a look at are the two versions of, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly, but I'm going to try, Hayate Sumaru. It's basically the weapon, the common weapon for the Hurricanea. And it has several modes, but only really one or two modes are actually shown on this. And basically, we'll take a look at this version here, which is very interesting. And it's basically a sheath version of the Hayata Sumaru sword on here, and which is pretty cool. It's got lots of detail on it. You can see here the grip area here with the gold paint on the end of that. It's very cool. And then you have the sheath here, which is pretty neat, and black and gold paint with some silver accents on the hilt area and the tip over here, which is pretty nice on here. And then the other side of this grip area here has a unique pattern sculpted and painted on there, which is very, very cool. And this Hayata Sumaru can act as both a blaster and a sword, which is interesting. But they don't include the blaster version. This is supposed to, I guess, swing downwards to be the grip of the blaster if they were to use it in a blaster, but this is sculpted and doesn't swing down, so you don't have a blaster form for this Hayata Sumaru weapon, which is unfortunate. Would have been nice to include that. This particular version has a peg, you can see there, which can be pegged into place like so into the back of the figure, so that it can be sheathed, I guess, with the figure, which is really, really cool on there. And we have this other version of the unsheathed Hayata Sumaru in blade form, which is cool, but in order to wield both the sheath and the unsheathed blade, they give you the option of pulling out the grip handle here, and that's plugged into the sheath, which is very nice. So you have a consistent look, so you don't have a grip handle and the blade wielded at the same time, so which is pretty neat. And that just pegs in a single direction. You can't switch the position of that based on the shape of the peg here, which is pretty neat. There we go. So that's the sheath version of the Hayata Sumaru, and we're going to take a look at some more details of the unsheathed version. The grip is basically the same as the sheathed version of that. I got the nice detail with the paint and the sculpt on the handle there. Very cool. And then you have the blade itself, which is relatively thin, but it's made of a rigid plastic, so you don't want to be bending that too much, otherwise it may snap and break off, which is pretty cool on there. Next accessory we're going to take a look at is the dry gun. Basically a blaster that's unique to Hurricane Red. Each of the Hurricanja have their own weapons, like the megaphone and the hammer, but Hurricane Red has a dry gun, and this is it right here, and it's very detailed on here, and you can see all the sculpting details there with a bird like imagery sculpted there, and it's really cool on there. And you can see the head of the blaster there. Got some nice paint detail, sculpting detail, and then you have more sculpting and painting detail here towards the middle of the blaster. And you can see the very nice sculpting work on there. It's got like this fan-like pattern, which is very cool. And then you have the nice paint here, which is pretty nice on there. And then on the handle, whoops, on the handle you can see the grip here, and then the nice application of the Hurricane Red symbol there at the bottom, which is a very nice touch. Now, on the show, each of the Hurricanja's unique weapons can be combined to form a super finishing weapon finishing move weapon, and I don't know if those parts can be combined to create those versions of the super finishing weapon. I'm gonna say no, but I can't be sure until we get a hold of Hurricane Blue and Hurricane Yellow to be able to say for sure. But it looks like it may be sculpted to accommodate the other weapons to be combined, but I don't know if it can be secured into place or not. We'll just have to find out when we get access to those accessories. But this is the dry gun for Hurricane Redo right there. Next thing we're going to take a look at is the bonus piece that's included with only the Hurricane Redo set and not with the Red Wind Ranger set. And it's basically a harness piece. I think it's used on the show for unofficial Sentai Akiba Ranger, which is a Sentai show, but I don't know if it's official Sentai. But it does have references to official Sentai shows, and like I said, I don't know if it is just limited to that show, this piece here, or if it was used in the Ninpu Sentai Hurricane, since I haven't completed watching either of those series. But this is included, and it indicates it is a bonus part, and it's a harness that comes in two pieces here, as you can see, and they're joined together with these slotted tabs on the ends of these, and basically you just fit it over the chest of the figure here. Let me just remove this while we place this over the figure, and we'll see if we can combine these to put the harness together. I may have to do this off screen because the camera's in my face, but let's see. Yeah, I'll have to do it off screen. Here we go, and we basically have this nice little harness that's attached to the figure, and it's very thin, so it doesn't impede too much with the articulation. It does cover up the symbol that's underneath this harness here, but that's okay. That's pretty neat. I think that was intended, and you can see how it doesn't impede any of the articulation of the arms or even the torso in general. It is a little loose on the figure. You can see how it wiggles around a little bit, so it's not tight onto the figure, but it's not loose where it'll just drop off or anything. You can see how it hangs onto the figure there, so that's pretty cool. And again, I don't know if this is just limited to the Akiba Ranger show or not. I'll have to watch further to find out. But enough of that. Let's go ahead and take a look at Hurricane Redo itself. And it's a really decent figure. It's a figure that's really interesting. It's got a very simplistic design to it. It's basically a bodysuit, but it's got loads of detail on this guy, and has me a bit surprised. I was expecting a very simple setup or a very standard figure. But with a lot of detail when you get it in hand, and it's a very, very nice. And there are some newer, I guess, sculpting or articulation going on here with compared to a standard Figuarts design, which is pretty interesting, and we'll go over that in a little bit. But first, let's go ahead and take a look at a closer peek at some of the details for Hurricane Redo here. And he has the typical Hurricane suit, which is basically a bodysuit with some metallic armor underneath that suit. Very cool. And you can see the majority of this figure is clad in the suit, a very simple red. and on here, but there are little details here and there that make this very, very nice. And we'll take a closer peek at the head sculpt here, which is interesting, and it's very clean, very nicely sculpted, and it's very just really, really nice. You can see that the visor here is painted in a gloss black, which is very cool. And then you have this wing-like formation going on here with the sculpt around the visor and painted in gold, and painted very well. I can't see any bleed whatsoever. And also, besides the paint, you can see the nice sculpting detail on there. It's very cool. And if you look in the forehead area, there's really some nice sculpting detail on there, a symbol on there. It's very, very cool on there. And you have this here around the chin area. When I first saw the show, at first glance, to me it looked like a smiley face. But I quickly tend to overlook that, and it's really the mask portion that can retract to reveal the eyes and mouth of the figure. So I really see it as more of a mask now than a smiley face there. But it's pretty cool. I was kind of worried that it would be simply painted on there, on the figure. But once I got it in hand and started looking at it, it's actually sculpted. There's a ridge. I don't know if you can see it on the profile. On the chin area, where the chin area sticks out a little bit more. And then the edges are actually painted white. Both in the chin area and below the eyes there. And it's actually very, very well done. And no bleed on the paint on that. And just a really nice sculpt and paint on there. Looking down here on the torso area, you can see a nice application of Hurricane Red's symbol there, which is pretty cool. I believe that's tampoed on there, and it's done very well on there. And no bleeds or no scratches or anything on here. And you can see it's a very simple torso here, but if you look in more detail, you can actually see some sculpting going on right here on the torso, some folds in the cloth, and basically this suit is some sort of cloth on the show. And as you can see, it's even simpler on the back with a little zipper line going up and down here. But really nice detail to be able to add just these little folds on the cloth to a basically simple cloth suit, which is very, very cool. And then you have the trim here in gold, which is very nice, and that's painted very well. And going here down to the arms, you have some sort of mail type of armor. I don't know if it's chainmail or not. I never really looked on the show, but it's nicely sculpted on here. You can see the pattern there on the armor. It's very, very cool. And not only on the pattern, but if you look closely, you can see the musculature underneath that's formed on the arm. And that's got some nice sculpting detail as well. It's kind of hard to see, but you have to look at it from certain angles, which is very, very nice. And what looked like on the video screen look like sculpting splotches, but they're not. It's really the formation of the arm, the muscle on the arm. So that's got some really nice detail, but from further away it kind of looks like sculpting splotches, but it's not. I just think that's really, really cool on the arm. And we have here the gloves, simple gloves with black trim at the top. And then you have here the gyroscope, which is basically like a communication device, also a henshin device when they do their shinobi change or henshin into Hurricanja. And just all around utility on there, and it's sculpted on there. I don't know if it's removable or not, but It's very, very cool. You got really nice detail going on there, and it's very, very nice. And I believe they even store some of their shooting stars there in that device. So really cool and nice detail on here when you look at it in close up. And then moving down to the rest of the glove, you have on the bracers here, which is a simple gold, but got some really nice detail on the sculpt. On there, you could see it going around, all the way around. And it's just really, really nice attention to detail. And then, of course, you have the fists here with that padded armor that I mentioned earlier on the hands. And moving down to the lower torso, you have a simple black band of a belt, but in a simple buckle. But again, the sculpting detail on there is very nice. Very fine detail on the buckle. Very good paint application. No bleed on something this small. So really cool. And this belt is loose, but it tends to sit secure most of the time, just resting on the hips there. So, but it is not glued down to either the upper torso or the lower torso there. And moving down, you have the simple sculpt of leggings, but again, you can see sculpting details in the folds on the upper and lower portions of the thigh there. Really nice. They could have gone away with just a simpler sculpt, much like some of the other Sentai figure arts they've done in the past, but they added these little folds into the cloth, which is really, really nice. And then you have the top of the boot here. Much like the buckle here, you got nice attention to detail with the gold paint and sculpt on there, and the simple black band going around the top of the boot. And we have here just simple portions to the bottom of the boots there. So really nice figure, a very surprising figure in that in its simplicity it has a lot of detail. Now going over articulation for this Hurricane Red here, the head and neck have, I believe, ball socketed joints. So the head can go all the way around and can go look upwards about that much, and downwards about that much, and tilt about this much at the top of the neck. And with the bottom of the neck, you can have even more range of motion on the head tilting and turning. So a nice range of movement for the head and neck area. These shoulder pieces here are part of the suit. They're not shoulder armor per se, but they are articulated in that they accommodate the shoulder and arm area. You can see how it moves a little bit as the arm moves around the shoulder, which is nice. So, and it gives way for articulation. And for the arm at the shoulder, the arm can go all the way around, as well as outwards about that much, and inwards, as well as rotational movement forward and back, which is nice. And on my particular figure, the arm on this figure is a lot stiffer. You can hear the creaking of the plastic there. So I tend to be a little bit more careful on this particular arm here because of the tightness of the joints. The elbows, they do bend at the arm. They can bend inwards about this much, and can go outwards about that much there. The hands are on those double ball socket joints, so you can go all the way around, and also has hinges, so you can move the hand in and out or side to side depending on the position of the hinge. So that's kind of nice. The upper torso has a ball socketed joint, so you can bend the torso down slightly side to side and tilt side to side. The waist can go, I believe, all the way around. Yes, it can go all the way around, as well as bend forwards about that much, up and back, as well as tilt side to side there. So that's nice range of motion there. The legs are on the typical hip joints in that you can bend the leg forward about that much and back about that much, and there's an additional hinge for you to pull down the leg so you can get a greater range of motion. So you can actually have a higher type kick going up about that high and going this far back and this far outwards. And there is a rotational joint allows the leg to rotate inwards and outwards, so that's nice. There are double hinges at the knees, so you can bend the knee that far back and extend the leg this far forward. And the ankle joints are I believe a newer ankle joint. It's been used before, but is a newer joint compared to older Figuarts, and it's a double ball pegged hinge joint in that you can bend the foot upwards about that much, downwards about that much. You can rotate the foot itself about that much, and you can also rotate the ankle, so you can move the hinge around, so you can get a really nice range of motion for this figure. You can even bend the foot like that if you wanted to. So nice range of movement with this foot. And there's also a toe hinge, so you can put the toe upwards about that much. So really nice range of motion for the foot and ankle area that I think gives greater range of posability compared to other Figuarts figures. But overall, a decent figure, a very nice figure that is really kind of deceiving in its simplicity. It's just I think a really well done, sculpted, detail-wise, and I really like it, and it's become one of my more favorite figures during its year of release, and I enjoy it quite a bit. This is my casual peek into the S.H.Figuarts Hurricane Red action figure set by Bandai. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.